こんにちは、皆さん。今日、私たちは日本語を勉強しています。質問があれば、私に聞いてください。Greetings, everyone. Today we're studying Japanese. If you have any questions, then feel free to ask me at any time. We're going to continue with immersion with Card Captor Sakura. Zanen, regrettable. Let's see, made from the kanji of remainder, leftover, and then wish, sense, idea, thought, feeling. So I guess you could say the leftover feeling of a wish or a desire. I guess in this case, one not being done, it would be regret, so regrettable. Zanen, regrettable. So zanen desu wa konkai, or this time. Konkai wa video ga torenakute. So if this is toru, then the potential form would be toreru. And then the negative form would be torenai. And then the negative connective potential form would be torenakute. Let's see. To be taken. Let's see. Of a photograph. To be able to take a photograph. Had to take. If I remember correctly, taken of a photograph is the same word but just a different kanji. Alternative kanjis. Okay, but anyway, that's basically what it was. It was zanen desu wa konai wa video ga torenakute, or it's regrettable. This time I will not be able to take a video. And notice she ends the sentence in kute, which means it's meant to connect with the following sentence, whatever that is. Now, notice she didn't say the following sentence, which means, as you commonly see, like within sentences ending with kata, it's the same thing with ending with a connective form, in which this whole sentence leads to something, but it's obvious what it leads to, so you don't have to say it. Like, it could be like, regrettable, I won't be able to take a video this time, so I can't watch it later. Or something like that. Because everyone knows the reason why people take videos, so you don't have to say the result of not being able to take a video. But the fact that it is connected form doesn't imply that there is something else not being said. See, jumpu wa doko. So, as for jump, where is it? This is basically a highly casual way of saying, uh, jumpu wa doko desu ka? Ueya, I think that's what he said. Yeah, ueya. So the ya is just the concept inversion of da, and then ue, which is the above, treated as a noun. So in other words, it's above. Zen. Trying to hear what she was saying. Oh, Zen, okay. Zen, then, okay, itakunai. So, itakunai comes from itai, which is, painful. So, and then to conjugate painful into the negative, you drop the e, or basically the I on the end, to a ku, since keiyoshi or I adjectives have a history with ku adjectives, which is why ku is used in the conjugations. So it becomes itaku, and then you can add nai to that. So itaku nai is not painful. And then zen means like completely or all. But it can only be used with negative words. So in other words, that doesn't hurt at all. Zen itaku nai ya. That's unusual. You usually don't see Sakura use the N. Is ya the replacement for da or something else? Let's see. And the phrase, okay, ya is primarily functioning as the sentence ending particle rather than a direct replacement for the copula da. Okay. So they just think it's an ending emotional particle and not the copula. So what is the difference between using ya as an ending particle versus yo or something like that? So I don't really see ya used as an ending particle that often. When used as a sentence ender after an adjective like itakunai, it acts as a casual emphatic particle influenced by dialogue, adding soft assertion or seeking acknowledgement similar to na or ne, rather than a definitive emphasis yo. Okay, I see. So it's more like na or ne than yo, okay? How is ya different from na or ne? Let's see. Ne is the standard gender neutral particle used to seek agreement, confirmation, or soften a statement. It's like saying right or isn't it, and widely used by both men and women. Though more commonly associated with feminine speech. For example, ame ga futte iru ne means it's raining, isn't it? Okay. Na functions similar to ne, but is primarily used by men and carries a more masculine, rough, or self-reflective tone. It can sound slightly harsher or more assertive. It's often used to express personal feelings or observations, like "sumara nai na," that's boring. Yeah, hence why na is generally associated with like directed to yourself kind of statements. See, ya is not standard Japanese. It is dialect. Okay. Let's see. Broadly used in particle, okay, yeah, replacing the da dash. Okay, it adds a sense of assertion of familiarity, saying that it's not painful at all. This usage is common in casual regional speech and is hallmark. Okay. See, can ya be used like a sentence ending particle? Can it be used outside of a replacement to da? Okay, let's see. It also functions as a colloquial, often masculine imperative or request particle. In this usage, it attaches directly to the imperative form of a verb to create a command or invitation, such as Kutsuroi de kure ya, meaning please make yourself at home. This form is used both in Kanto and Kansai regions, though it's more common among men and can sound rough and I I'm gonna guess that this is just a replacement of da, but that's actually strange in the fact in this entire series so far, we've never seen Sakura speak with any aspects of Kansai Ben. Okay, well, continuing. Anyway, this basically says it doesn't hurt at all, or zenzen itakunai ya.
全然痛くないや。逃げるつもりや。全然痛くないや。
Nigeru tsumori. Nigeru tsumori ya. So, to run, to escape, and then samori. Oh, intention, plan, purpose. So, Nigeru Sumoriya, or in other words, it plans to run. He plans to run, she plans to run, whatever. Okay, so Nigeru. See, Machi Nasai. Let's see. Yeah, so Machi is the noun form of matsu, or to wait, and you generally put the word in the noun form when you want to use the nasai attached to it, which is basically a polite command form of to do. Let's see, nasai comes from, I think it was nasaru or something. Nasaru. Yes, nasaru, to do. So in nasaru is a politer version of suru, but in nasai is the command form of it. So in other words, it can be taken as basically a wait please, seen as how it's polite word, but it's still a command all the same, like wait please. So machi nasai, or wait. 闇の力を姫し鍵を。So let's see. Darkness power. Himeshi. I think that's from hidden, so. Hidden key of dark power or something like that. Yami no chikara. Let's see, too hard to keep to oneself. Himeru. It's the O key that holds the power of darkness. Let's see, Himeshi. Remember that she being significant about something. Oh, that's right. Wasn't it a archaic tense? Explain the grammar of dark. Himeshi, hime, the rentai-kei attributive form of himeru, meaning too hard to conceal. She, an archaic or poetic attributive ending, historically derived from the perfective auxiliary key or the rhetorical she. In modern Japanese, this would typically be the verb in its ta form, so himeta. When modifying a noun, okay, I see. The way to interpret this is this entire sentence modifies this noun kagi or key. And you can basically think of this as in past tense himeshi, but they wanted it to sound more archaic, so it sounds a lot more magical essentially. So they, instead of saying himeta, they said himeshi. So have hidden the power of darkness. That's the type of key it is. In other words, key that has hidden the power of darkness. A poetic attributive ending. Okay, so in other words, notice this the attributive, so it's to be taken as meaning what type of key, but yeah, that's right. Hiding the power of darkness key. Okay. So, kami no chikara o himeshi. I mean, yami, yeah. Yami no chikara o himeshi kagi o. Yami no chikara o himeshi kagi o. Let's see, from himeru.
Yami no chikara o himeshi kagi yo. Yami no chikara o himeshi kagi yo. Shin no sugata o ware no mae ni shimese. Yami no chikara o himeshi kagi yo. 真の姿を我の前に。
Sheen, true, real. So Shin no Sugata, form figure. So Shin no Sugata, true form. Then Ware no Mae ni. So Mae ni usually means before. So Ware no Mae tells you what type of before we're talking about. We're talking about the before of the before I. So in other words, before me. So true form before me. Shimese. I guess that's like to show or take out and show to demonstrate from shimesu, and it's transitive. In other words, okay, so to show your true form before me. She knows sugata ware no mae ni shimese. Shin no sugata wo ware o mae ni shimese.
闇の力を示し鍵よ。真の姿を我の前に示せ。契約のもとさくらが命じる。力を示し鍵よ。真の姿を我の前に示せ。契約のもと。
Keiyaku, contract, compact, agreement. Keiyaku moto, origin, source, beginning, basis, cause, from. See, Sakura ga then Meijiru is to order, to command. Meijiru. So moto has something to do with this contract. One side, okay. Oh, okay. I think it's this moto. Under. I think they're trying to say under contract. Okay, and so I think Keiyaku no moto is a phrase meant to describe the type of sakura. What's sakura? This is the sakura that is under contract. Let's see. By the terms of our pact, Sakura commands. That's how the translator translates it. See, under contract, Sakura commands, or by virtue of the contract, Sakura gives orders. See, it combines the grammatical elements to convey authority derived from an agreement. Wow, right in the translator. This phrase is famously used in the anime Card Captor Sakura as a magical incantation, giving its ceremonial tone. Let's see, no moto. Let's the particle no links keiyaku contract to moto, forming a noun phrase. Moto. Okay, so they're showing how they all use the same. Okay, so they don't mean this moto. Hey, they're saying it's this one, but there's several of them though. It literally means origin or source or authority. So keiyaku no moto means under the authority of the contract. Okay, so this is the authority moto. Origin, source, authority. So I assume it's this one right here. Yeah, I assume it's this long definition right here. Okay. Let's see. This construction is common in formal or written Japanese to indicate that an action is justified by a prior agreement. Let's see. Sakura ga meijiru. The subject, the one issuing the command. Okay, got major, a formal verb meaning to order. Let's see, that was transitive. Okay. To decree. While grammatically correct and meaningful in real Japanese, the phrase most famously used in the fiction, particularly in Card Captor Sakura, where Sakura uses it to activate magical powers granted by a contract with a mystical creature. In this context, the contract symbolizes magical pact. Okay, let's see. So outside the anime, similar structures appear in legal and ceremonial language such as Horitsu no moto ni, or under the law. Let's see, does the phrase keiyaku no moto describe Sakura, or is it outside of that? Let's see, the phrase keiyaku no moto is not describing Sakura. Instead, it functions separately as a separate adverbial phrase that sets the context or condition under which Sakura ga meijiru, or Sakura commands, takes place. Let's see. Keiyaku no moto, under the contract, a prepositional-like phrase indicating authority or basis. Prepositional phrase is a group of words that begins with a preposition and ends with a noun, pronoun, or noun phrase. It typically includes modifiers such as adjectives and functions as a unified part of speech to provide additional information about location, time, relationship, direction. Prepositional phrases primarily act as adjectives or adverbs, though they can occasionally function as nouns. The book on the table is mine. So on the table would be a prepositional phrase modifying book. Okay. That's an adjectival modifier. Let's see. Adverbial would be she waited until noon. Modifies waited. He ran with speed. Modifies ran. So then would it normally have a particle there? But this is casual. Let's see. So analogy in English, just like in by royal decree the king commands. By royal decree doesn't describe the king, it describes the source of authority for the command. The word keiyaku normally have a particle after it. Yes, keiyaku no moto typically requires a particle when used in a full sentence to indicate a grammatical function. The phrase keiyaku no moto literally means under the contract, but moto is a noun, so it needs a particle to connect it with a verb or clause. The usual form is keiyaku no moto de. De is the particle most commonly used. It indicates the context, condition, or location under which the action takes place. Okay, so that's how it would normally be written. So, Keiyaku no moto de Sakura ga meijiru, but she just dropped the de particle. And de, in this case, is the delineations for the rest of the phrase. So, saying within the restrictions of under the contract, the command is being given, essentially. Keiyaku no moto Sakura ga meijiru.
闇の力を示し鍵よ、真の姿を我の前に示せ。契約のもとさくらが命じる。レディーズ。真の姿を我の前に示せ。契約のもとさくらが命じる。
Rerisu, or I believe this is Fuin, and I forget what the other kanji is. Fuin seal, which comes from seal and stamp, and then in here for Fuin kai show, termination, a pseudo verb termination of a. In this case, it's a termination of the seal. So in other words, seal terminating, aka releasing the little baton thing. She's terminating its seal so it can come out. Booting kaisho, or aka in other words, releasing it. Let's see. And kaisho comes from unravel, explanation, understanding, and then remove, abolish, cancel. Let's see. Kai Katsu settlement, Kai solution, Wakaru to understand. show division. Sakeru, to avoid physical contact with. Okay. Nozoku, to remove, to get rid of. To exclude, to leave out. Okay, so shokai, exception, exclusion. So fuin kaisho. Furai. And that kanji is tobu, to fly, to soar, to jump. That's interesting though, that's not the same kanji you normally see. Let's see, that kanji is used in habataku, to flap wings, to spread one's wings. Kakeru, to soar, to fly. Oh, this is probably... Is this Ichidan? That's strange, it doesn't mention if it's Ichidan. But yeah, that particular kanji has more associated with flying than the kanji used in Tobu. Hence why you see that kanji being used. The kakeru is identified as a Godon verb meaning soar, to fly. But anyway, which verb is this kanji from? Let's see, it's mostly associated with kakeru. Derived from tobu. What is kakeru's noun form? Would it be that? Let's see. While the kanji means to soar, it is not a standalone noun. Verb kakeru. So what about Basically, that's the concept of flying, but I'm not sure if that's associated with any particular word or if it's just a flying associated kanji. So, Vroid. あそこだ. Uh, to to be there, over there, essentially. If you remember, Koko means here. Soko means closer to the person you're speaking to. And then Asoko means like far away from the speaker, but not close to anyone, not close to anyone you're speaking to or anything. Hence why she's using Asoko here instead of Soko. So Asoko da. 汝のあるべき姿に. So Nanji's archaic way of saying you, and then arubeki, so existing, and then I believe, and then I know sugata is form. I think Becky has to do with ideal or original, something like that. From Arubeki, ideal situation, ideal situation form, or basically ideals of whatever we're talking about. Arubeki, because yeah, and then Becky has to deal with should, ought to, and then Aru is just that to exist. So exist as you ought to, in other words, ideal. And she's using ni at the end because she wants him to transition to his ideal form. So, nanji no aru beki sagutta. Let's see. No, sagata. Yeah, sagata. Nanji no aru beki. Oh, that's right. Becky, does that come from a verb? In order, for the purpose. Auxiliary, okay. Nanji no aru beki sugata ni. Cho. This basically this cho is basically her saying choto, but instead of finishing the word, she repeated the startup of the word again. So choto from like choto mate, essentially. Saying just choto is a short way of saying choto mate. Choto being a little and mate being wait. Higi. Mini trees. That is sort of like how Hito is many people, which basically the Hito twice, but because of it's Hito something that can have a Daku 10, the second Hito gets a Daku 10 added to it and becomes a Bito. So Hito Bito. Here, it's like Ki, but the Ki can take a Daku 10, so it becomes Ki. So, or mini trees. So Kigi, Midori, green, yeah. Oi, cover, mantle, shroud, hood. Let's see. Shigeri, growing thick. It's probably from Shigeru. Shigeru, to grow thickly, to be in full leaf. Intransitive, Shigeru. So, Kiyo, Midori ni, Oi, Shigeri. Oh, Oi is considered a noun. Interesting. So the trees, green. I'm assuming this is being used adverbially. So greenly, in other words, with a green, whatever, and then mantle. So a thick green mantle. So so a thick green cover, mantle, and then no tasuke, assistance, help, and then to nare. I think this is actually supposed to be not from naru, but it's the command form, so nare. So naru, to become, so in other words, I think this is supposed to have a ni right after the shikeri because of the purpose ni. So in other words, for the purpose of becoming of, so be a thick green mantle for the purpose of so yeah, become a thick green mantle for the purpose of helping, aiding, or supporting me, essentially. Now, why is this toe here? Oh, trees, grow lush and green and be my refuge. Okay, I think that's a bad translation. Into green with green. The particle ni here indicates the result of a change. or medium state in which a action occurs. Okay. Oi shigeri. This is the core verb phrase combining two classical poetics oi, the Renyo-ke continuative form of the verb o, meaning to cover, and then this is from okay. And shigeri, the Renyo-ke of the verb shigeru, meaning to flourish, to grow quickly. Okay. In classical and literal Japanese, connecting verbs with their Renyo-ke forms, especially in sequence te mi, creates a compound meaning to overgrow, to be densely covered, to flourish profusely. Okay. Ware no my ones is a classical literary first person pronoun. No is the possessive particle. Okay. Then tasuke, help or aid. Here it's used as a noun. And then to nare. This is the imperative form of the copula naru, meaning to become. In modern Japanese, the imperative would be nare, okay, or more commonly. That's right. The imperative form is nate, not nare, or more commonly nate for requests. Tonare is a strong, archaic, or poetic imperative meaning become. It commands the subject to transform into the state of help. Let's see, explain the origin of tonare. Tonare originates from the imperative mood meire-ho of the classical Japanese copula naru, to become. Naru, this is the classical, literary verb to become, used instead of the modern copula da or des. In formal, archaic, and poetic contexts, I think naru's would be better just for the fact because it's asking to become something, which is not really how da or des is used. So, this is the particle that precedes the imperative form naru to create the command. It acts as a quotative or direct particle, turning the following noun or phrase into the object of the command become. Oh, okay, so this is just the quoting toe. Oh, and I see. So you have to quote the command that you're becoming. Okay, basically it tells you to wrap the entire phrase up, essentially, for the become. It is a direct archaic command used in classical literature, poetry, and dramatic speech. So, why nare instead of nate? Let's see. Naru. Oh, that's right. Because nade is the imperative form. That's right. This is not the connective form. This is the imperative form. Yeah, which would be either nate kudasai, because when you're using kudasai, you need the connective form, hence why it's nate there, or the imperative form nade. Yeah, we're not doing connective form at all. So, kiki yo midori ni meter, oi, okay, so they said it's from ou. To cover, to hide, to conceal, to wrap. Transitive, okay. Shigeru, to grow thickly. So to wrap, growing thickly, okay. With green. To wrap. Kiki yo midori ni oi shigeri wakari no tasuke to nare. Is there supposed to be a particle after in classical and literary Japanese? Okay, the Ren-yo-kei form of a verb can directly connect to the next clause or command without an additional particle. Here it smoothly links the description action of covering and flourishing with, okay, to the imperative command that follows, become my aid. So does, no, so is, ware no tasuke to, tasuke to nare, a separate sentence that connects from the first, similar to how you can connect two sentences with te. Okay, the Ren-yo-kei conjunctive form of the verb, okay, of the verb oi shigeru in classical and Little Japanese. This form is used to directly connect clauses similar to how the modern te form connects actions. Okay, so yes, this is connecting like the te form connections. Okay. So yeah, this is an example of basically first part of the sentence and then second part of the sentence, but this is done in a connective way. Similar to something like I guess the waves were pouring, the wind was blowing, or something like that. Oi shigeri, oi shigeri. So to cover. Okay, and then shigeri to grow thickly. Okay, so 木々を生い茂り我の助けとなれ or aid me by covering me in a mantle of green vines.
木々よ緑に覆い茂り我の助けとなれ。
ルート
木々よ緑に覆い茂り我の助けとなれ。
wood or wood. Key. Okay, yes. So in other words, aid by covering in vines. It wasn't like for her. It was for the jump card essentially. Just trying to cover it up with vines, so it can't jump away. 捕まえた. Let's see. 捕まる to catch. 捕まえる able to catch. And then 捕まえた was able to catch. So it was able to catch it. 捕まえた. Wait, to catch, to capture, 捕まえる. Intransitive. Oh, this is okay. No, this is not the potential form. This is just the transitive version of the word. To catch, to capture. So it was captured. 捕まえた. I noticed he said itata. That's basically the sounds of saying itai or another, which is one of the ways of like saying ouch in Japanese. Itai meaning painful.
えらい目におったわ。
えらい目におったわ. Hmm. Erai, great, excellent, admirable, commendable, distinguished, important. Okay, erai, me, or eyes. Utawa. Okay. Oh, no, I don't think. Encounter. I wonder if there's supposed to be a Kansai bin way of saying "oh." Explain the grammar of let's see. Erai mani au, meaning to have a terrible time or to suffer a disaster. Let's see, the Taiwan suggests regional dialects such as Kansai Ben. Let's see. Is Atta said as Outa in Kansai Ben? Explain in English. See, yes, in Kansai dialect, the past tense verb in u, like au, you, okay, is often conjugated as outa. Ata becomes outa. Ita becomes yuta. Does Kansai Ben say au as o? Okay, in Kansai dialect, is pronounced as au in its dictionary form, but the sound changes in common usage, especially in the te form. So, okay, you see things like o te or o ta when it's in those forms, but when it's in just dictionary form, it's pronounced au. So that's what's going on here. So this is ota. Let's see. Excellent eye. So you met an excellent eye, and that somehow means trouble? Okay. Erai means great, terrible, or awful. In this context, it intensifies the negative nature of the event. Okay, so it has more of like an extreme meaning, so it could be extremely good or extremely bad. So, erai me literally means I, but in this idiom it refers to an experience or situation. So, erai me means terrible experience or hard time. Ni, a particle indicating the target or situation of the verb. Here it links the experience erai me to the action encountering. Au. Let's see, go down verb to encounter, to meet. So in other words, I met with a terrible experience, or encountered a terrible experience. Why is it ni, though? Why is ni used? Ni is used with erai me ni. Let's see. Ni au, because it marks the target or recipient of the experience, not a direct object. While wo is typically used for direct objects of actions like eating or reading, ni is used with certain verbs to indicate. Oh, that's right, because au is generally used with targets, particles like ni. So the target of the meeting is with the bad experience. It's like you went and met the bad experience. It was the target of the meeting, okay. So, erai me ni wan.
えらい目におったわ。なんや
Nanya, or what that be, or in other words, what is that?
もうカードは封印してしまったんですか
Mo karo wa fuin shite shimatan desu ka? So as for another oh no, this mo was already, that's right. So have you already ended up sealing the card? So it's shimatan, because she's asking a question she wants to answer to. Shimata, like from Shimao, ended up, but this is past tense because she wants to know if she's already done it. And then fuin, sealed, and then shite, because fuin is a pseudo verb. So have you already sealed the card? Mo karo wa fuin shite shimatan desu ka?
もうカードは封印してしまったんですかもよちゃんこれからだよもうカードは封印してしまったんですかもよちゃん
Tomoya-chan, これからだ. So from this, okay, Tomoya-chan, これからだよ. What does just saying from this by itself mean? Oh, Tomoya-chan. It's about to start. So from this, in other words, it's about to start. Okay. To be from this.
もうカードは封印してしまったんですか？ともよちゃん、これからだよ。間に合ったんですね。もうカードは封印してしまったんですか？ともよちゃん、これからだよ。間に合ったんです。
I think she said maniatan desu ne. So in other words, that would be what was the perfect moment. Let's see. Yeah, mani au, to be in time. Yeah, ma has to do with like a moment in time. And then this au, this one, to come together, has to do with more like matching something. So in other words, and it's past tense because she's already done it, so she's matched the perfect moment essentially. In other words, she's here just in time. Mani atan desu ne. Mani atan desu ne.
しまったんですか？ともよちゃん、これからだよ。間に合ったんですね。マキさんは大丈夫？
Maki-san wa? Or was Maki-san okay?
カードは封印してしまったんですか？ともよちゃん、これからだよ。間に合ったんですね。マキさんは大丈夫？
Let's see. Daijobu desu wa? So to be alright. So in other words, she's alright. Daijobu. Let's see if I can remember how to spell it. Daijobu. Yes. Safe, secure. Problem free. So to be safe. In other words, she's alright. Daijobu desu wa? And then mono oto, some sort of sound from an unknown source. And then ha?
これからだよ。間に合ったんですね。マキさんは大丈夫ですか？
Are or that.
おないなってね。
Don't I not ten nen. So okay, don't I okay. In Kansai Ben, instead of saying donna, like there's konna, sonna, and donna, you say donai in Kansai Ben. Then nate from naru, to become. And I think this is a shortening in Kansai Ben from iru. So donai not 10 would be, what is it becoming? And he's using not te iru or not 10 because it's actively becoming something as they speak. explain the grammar of see Dainaten Nen is Kansai dialect expression which translates to the standard Japanese. Oh, so it's supposed to be do, not don. I thought it was supposed to be dona. Let's see, what's going on, or doshitanda, what's wrong? Let's see, donate, let's see, the cat form, okay, of naru, of do naru, okay. This is the colloquial contraction of no. In Kansai dialect and often casual Japanese, no becomes It normalizes. Okay, let's see. Not so. Tenin. Okay, this is Kansai dialect equivalent to standard Japanese explanatory emphatic nda. Or no des. The ten. Okay, this is dialect variation. Okay, which itself is a contraction of heiru, or the or part of the explanatory nda structure. Okay, in many Kansai contexts, is followed by okay. However, ten nin specifically functions as an emphatic question or explanation. Nin. Okay, this is the Kansai dialect equivalent to the sentence ending particle nda or des. So would the standard sentence be donate irun irunda? Let's see. Yes, donate irunda is the standard equivalent of the Kansai phrase donai not tenen. See, donateru is a progressive or resultive state of the verb naru, okay? So I'm gonna guess this is, yeah, this is supposed to, then, is it supposed to be do or donna? See, donna on the other hand is used before a noun to mean what kind of. Okay. And the phrase donate irunda, do is used because it modifies the verb naru. Become. Do is used to ask the manner or state in which something happens. Donna, on the other hand, is used before a noun meaning what kind of. For example, donahito or donahon. Okay. So, donai not tennen. Cannot be. could donai natenen be dona natenen? No, dona natenen is not correct. The word donari in donai natenen is Kansai dialect form of the standard Japanese do. Okay, so donai is do in Kansai Ben. So in other words, what do, or how is it becoming, or in other words, what's going on? So donai naten nen, which is Kansai Ben for do nate iru. Oh, do nate irunda. Wakanai, I don't know. Some type of sound. Nagi goe. Oh, I mean voice, some type of voice, yeah. From koi, that's right. Nagi koi. Cry of an animal. So nagi comes from nagu, to sound, to ring, to resound. So naki goe, and because of Daku-ten reasons, you have to turn koi to goe. Let's see. Can naki goe be used with people? No, the Japanese nakigoi is not typically used for human vocalizations in standard context. It specifically refers to calls, cries, or sounds made by animals, such as birds, insects, or pets. So, nakigoi.
吠えてるつもりなんかな。
吠えて、てる、つもり、なんかな. Let's see, so that's intention. So he's asking something about the intention. Hoeru, to bark, to howl, to roar, to yelp, to yap. So this is hoeteru, and it's continuative. Yeah. So hoeru becomes hoete because it's ichidan. And then this is continuative form, so it's hoete iru, but that gets contracted into hoeteru. So barking or howl intention. So what is its intention with howling and barking? Hoeteru tsumori nan kana. The nan is because tsumori's meiji or a noun. And so when asking in like an informative ways of like questions and answers, when you seek information, you generally put nan after a noun, and then ka for the question, and then na's at the end of this because I think it's like he doesn't expect anyone to actually answer the question. He was like sort of saying the question as a statement, like, what's the purpose for barking? Let's see. Is this sentence aimed at oneself, or is it just masculine? The suffix kana is a question marker that typically seeks the listener's opinion or confirms an assumption about the second person. Okay, meaning, okay, masculine tone, the casual, slightly rough, assertive tone of the sentence structure, dropping polite endings using a colloquial short term. Okay. Oh, let's try that again. It's not, let's see, it's not being used as the masculine ne, or is it aimed, or is it being said with no intention of a response? See, the final na is not the masculine equivalent of ne, nor is it a negative. Okay. In this context, it functions as a sentence-ending particle expression, the speaker's personal, often contemplative reflection with little expectation of response. Okay, so it's being said sort of just, it's like just saying a thought out there without actually expecting a response. Okay. Hoeteru samori nan kana, or what's its reason for its barking, or what's its intention for barking?
吠えてるつもりなんかな。
こっちに来るで. So kochi this direction, kochi ni, so towards this direction, kuru to come, and then de is, I think it was Kiro Berusu that was saying it, so it was. Yeah, it was Keroberusu. Okay, so yeah. Kochi ni kurure, or it's coming this way. How is the de being used in this Kansai bin statement? The de, the sentence ending particle that serves as a regional equivalent to the standard Japanese particle yo. Okay, so it's basically replacing the yo. Because you're making a assertive statement because they need to get out of there that it's coming this way. So you need to be assertive about it. It's coming this way. Hence, we need to get out of here. Kochi ni kuru de.
これなんかな。こっちに来るで。別々に逃げよう。
Let's see. Something ni nigeyo. Betsu ni nigeyo, I think she said. Let's see. Yeah, Betsu ni separately apart, severely individually. So this by itself means Betsu, distinction, different, separate, okay, discrimination, exception, exclusion. And then Betsu ni means not particularly. Oh yeah, because what not separate would mean no difference, so not particularly. Yeah, okay, so yes, if you don't have a distinction of something, so Betsu ni would be not particularly because there is no distinction. So Betsu sep so Betsu distinction, or in other words, we need to separate respective, different. So with separation, essentially, because ni has that with meaning to it. So she's, and then nigeyo is from nigeru, but in the suggestive tense. So in other words, we should run separately. Betsu ni nigeyo. Or in other words, we should split up. Say ya na. Say ya na. See, the ya is probably kansai ben da. Let's see if we can recognize, if I put da there instead, if it recognizes it. Back, height, statue, reverse rear side. Oh, I think this set is probably the rear side set. So, say na, or in other words, to be rear side, or in other words, I think he's trying to say it's right behind us. Wait, yeah, you're right. How the translator translated it. Okay, explain the grammar of say na. This is a Kansai dialect equivalent of the standard Japanese phrase so da na. That's right, or you're right, I agree. Say, Kansai dialect form of so meaning like that or that way. Okay, yeah, the Kansai dialect copula to be instead of da. Okay, then na sentencing and particle equivalent to the standard ne used to seek agreement or confirmation. Okay, that's weird. It's the problem with trying to use AI for things. Sometimes it gives good information, sometimes it gives not. Now it's saying not is used like ne. So seiya is the same as soda, or in other words, that's to be that, or in other words, that's right. Seiya na. So hi or yes, and then sore that, and in the case you can see Sakura's looking at something, so and she's probably referring to as in like that over there, or that way I should go, or I should go towards that. Sore. Oh no, she's not referring to that as in that over there. She's referring to sort of that as in that's it. Like what they were just talking about. Like, yeah, that's it. You're doing what we was just talking about it. Yeah, that's it. That's the way to do it. Or that's it. I know that first kanji comes from aruku to walk. Let's see. Ohaba. Length of one step, stride, pace. So it's basically pace or stride. Ch uh chi chigai sugiru. In other words, too small. Sugiru. Oh wait. Chigo to wait. Is that Chigo? I thought it was. Let's see. Chigai. So what was the word for small? Cheese? No, not that small. See. Cheap. No, that's Sukunai, few little. Okay, yeah. So what are you saying with this? Sugiru. This should be like an extent word if I remember correctly. Oh, that's right. The other Sugi had. There's Sugi as in Chisasugi or too small, which comes from one of the Sugirus of too much of too much of something, whether that's too much of whatever bigness, too much of smallness, or too much. Yes, Sugi. Yes, okay. Let's see. To pass through, to pass time, to have, yeah. So that's okay. So it's the same word. To exceed or to surpass. So Chisasugi would be too small. Okisugi would be too big. But I don't think that's the Sugiru that they're talking about in this context. Interesting. I didn't know that too pass and that too much of something was the same word. I think it's to pass through or to go beyond. To pass by kind of meaning. So wrong pass through. Ohaba ga chigai sugiru. So the wrong pass through, in other words, so let's see what it just translates to. Our strides are way too different. Oh, that's right. Chigao can be, in addition to wrong, it can also be different. Because that's actually how you say something's wrong. You say it's different, aka it's wrong. I think it's related to how Japanese doesn't like to directly state things, so instead of saying something's wrong, you say it differs. So in this context, this would be like the exceed meaning, so it's too different. So the strides are too different. Because she's having trouble running faster than it because the strides are so different. Ohaba ga chigai sugiru. Ohaba. Let's see, and this kanji comes from hang and scroll with. So walking with would aka be a stride, okay. So ohaba ga chigai sugiru. See, Sakura-chan, Sakura. Let's see, Yosha, like yes, or you did it. Out of curiosity, is Yosha Kansai Ben? Probably not. Explain in English. Let's see. Yes, Yosha is widely considered Kansai dialect expression, though it is now used colloquially across all of Japan. It functions as an interjection expressing agreement, enthusiasm, or determination, similar to "Alright, okay, let's go." So it was probably something that started as Kansai Ben and spread through TV across Japan. Yosha. Ima no uchi ni fuin shite. See, fuin shite mao. So ima's the noun. I think this is a different uchi. This is something about a moment kind of uchi, if I remember how this was previously used. I don't think it's jettison cargo. Oh, it's this uchi, inside, within. So, inside of now, aka now's the moment. So, ima no uchi. So, ima no uchi ni. And then ni, because we're talking about the time. What time are we talking about? We're talking about inside of now. So, ima no uchi ni fuin shite. So, that's ceiling. Mau. I think this probably has something to do with magic. Let's seal it away while we still can. And then yes, but explain the grammar of okay, let's seal it away with a soft imperative or self-directed resolve. Let's see, uchi Oh, Mao contraction of Masho. But with a soft, whimsical, old-fashioned tone. So, Temao is a colloquial or dialect variant of Temio. See, Temao is a colloquial or dialect variant of Temio or Masho, often used in anime or period dramas to sound cute, old-fashioned, or determined. Okay, I think in this case it's probably from Temayo instead of Masho, because I think he's trying to say let's try to seal it. So Temayo would make more sense with Mayo being in the suggestive tense, and Mayo coming from Midu, which is normally to mean to see, but Midu is also used to mean to try, similar to how you use see in English to mean try. So 今のうちに封印して封印してMile or what was it? Wait, let's see. Would this be Masho, Masho or Mayo or wait, in your phrase, Fuin shite mao is the colloquial contraction of Fuin shite shimai masho or oh, this has shimau in it? Shimai masho or a stylized form of Fuin shimasho. No, okay, it's not that. Often used in anime for cute or determined tone. It is not derived from Mayo. So, this is a contraction from Bimahu. Yes, Fuin Shite Mao is a contraction and dialectic cue form of Fuin Shite Shimai Masho. Shimao means to finish completely or to do by accident, often with a sense of finality or regret. Okay. How does Shimai Masho become Mao? Is a sound contraction or stylized Japanese speech. So Teshimau, okay. See, Teshimau becomes chao, okay, or jiao, okay. So te shimaimasho becomes chaimasho or jaimasho. Further contraction. In soft, cute, or old-fashioned speech, let's see, chaimasho becomes masho or mao. The chi from chai is dropped and masho becomes mao. Okay. See, this is Kansai bin. Does that change what mao could be? Let's see, yes, in Kansai dialect, Mo is a regional contraction for Teshimao, derived from Teshimao. See, is a regional contraction of Teshimao. That's derived from Teshimao. So, Fuin Shitete Fuin Shitete Mao. So, okay. Fuin Shite Shimai Masho to Fuin Shite Shimao in standard Japanese. In Kansan dialect, Fuin Shite Mao. Wait, there's only one te in there. Fuin Shite Mao. What's that? Fuin Shite Te Mao from Fuin Shite Te Mota evolutional form. So, Teshimao becomes Temao. Teshimata becomes Te Mota or Mota. Teshimao becomes Temao. So, Te Fuin Shi. Wait. It is Fuin Shite Mao and not that though. In Kansai dialect, Fuin Shite Mao is a valid contraction of Fuin Shite Shimai Masho, where Te Shimao becomes just Mao. So Te Shimai Masho becomes. Oh, okay, I see. So they didn't do the contractions that get rid of the te. They just contracted Shimai Masho into Mao, because so Shimao can contract to Mao and Kansai bin, but in the suggestive tense or the volutional form, which is Shimai Masho, it can contract to or Shimayo. Let's see. No, that Shimau. Let's see. What's the non-polite? Shimau. Shimao, yeah, Shimao would be the non-polite, which is probably what the contraction comes from. So, Shimao, in this case, just becomes Mao, which is basically the same thing, just with the she taken off. So this is just Fuin Shite Mao. It's just nothing more than Fuin Shite Shimao. So basically, like end up finishing of sealing. Now's the moment to end up finishing sealing it. So ima no ichi ni fuin shite mao, and then yes.
よっしゃ、今のうちに封印してまおう。今のうちに封印してまおう。よっしゃ、今のうち。
質問がありますか? Are there any questions? If not, we're going to raid, so please stick around for that. We're going to raid Kanade. She appears to be playing some sort of Pokemon game. See, the next person we're going to raid is... Okay, let's see who to raid next. So, we're gonna raid Damsduel JP. He's currently learning Japanese. And let's see. The next person we're rating is... Let's see. The third person we're gonna raid is Dr. Disrespect. Minasan, okiyotsukete. Mata ashita. Bye everyone, see you tomorrow.